Okay. Hello, everybody. I think today's going to be a little bit delayed. I'm trying something different in the YouTube settings where the camera quality should be a little bit better, but I had to introduce a little bit of latency on YouTube in order to do so. So it won't be as real time. We'll have to check just how far behind it is after the stream. I'll be able to have an idea. But how are you guys doing? It's the end of the month stream for June. It's half the year gone. Have you done anything good? You accomplished anything? You got any better? Hope so. We got a few things to go over, but mainly just wanted to check in and see how you guys were doing because I know you guys like these things. So if everything's good in the chat, you can let me know. Type something and we can get started. But the first thing that I want to talk about was the Japanese guitars because I have not imported one since I got the Jaguar. That's not common for me. I got that guitar in March. So that's 3 months I haven't ordered anything. And normally, in a 3 month time, anywhere from 3 to sometimes 10 guitars would make their way into this house and then back out of this house to new owners, to hopefully their permanent owners. And it's just kind of stopped. I mean, for the first month, there's a lot of uncertainty around it. And I still get questions every day on that video about importing guitars from Japan and the tariffs. But it's more than that because, especially with Fender Japan, the prices have really started to go up. So the value proposition isn't as great as it once was, which kind of sucks. So I don't know. I don't know if that's something we're gonna do all that much anymore, because one of the things I really liked about pre the changes was you could order any guitar under $800, and the majority of used Fender Japan guitars would be under $800, and you wouldn't have to pay anything, no duty, no tariff, no nothing. You would just pay the shipping and the price of the guitar, and it was there for you. That's not a thing anymore. And for those people who shopped for new guitars from certain shops that wouldn't exactly fill out the paperwork accurately per se, and then they wouldn't get charged even if it was something that was worth a little bit more than $800, there's no escaping it anymore because customs, they're going to charge you one way or the other here. They don't care what the value is as far as being over or under $800 for the exemption, the de minimis exemption. So you're going to get hit either way. And obviously the more you spend, the more it costs, yada, yada, yada. And in a market where not a whole lot is moving anyways, it's not the best time to be buying and reselling guitars, especially when the prices have gone up on all of them. So it's kind of a bummer. I'm not the most happy about it, but I don't mind all that much. I feel like I've done so many Fender Japan videos anyways at this point. It would take something really special. But we are going to head out and check a model, though, right after I say hello to everybody. Hello, Deb. Hi, Mike. You're doing good? That's great. Marcia Murray, howdy. Markleford, greetings. Oh, I gotta send tracks over to Markleford. And Crollo, hello. All right, cool. So I'll start right off. We're already talking about the Japanese stuff, and I will load up something because Fender Japan, you would have, it's not a surprise. You can see the thumbnail of it. Basically, oh, you can still kind of see my head. Let me enlarge just a little bit. Cool. So what they did was Fender Japan reissued just the Blue Flower, Blue Floral Telecaster and Stratocaster and the Acoustasonic. And there's a few things about this that are interesting compared to previous releases. The first being they only released them in the floral finish. There's no pink paisley, or technically it's red paisley finish. I can't think of any other time since Fender Japan started reissuing these in the early 80s where they did not include both options. For this one, it's just a Blue Flower, which makes me think they're probably going to do the red paisley at some point. But we're not going to dive too deep. I'm just going to give you the kind of rundown on these things, how much they would cost and whatnot. So what I like is some of the older ones were basswood. These are alder. The neck shapes are different on each one. On the Telly, it's a oval 60C, and on the Strat, it's a 69U. So the Strat's gonna have a little bit more heft to it, which I would prefer. I love that it's got the big old headstock. I keep doing that. Please stop doing that. It's got the big old headstock, and one other difference between these and all the other previous ones that I can recall, these are gonna have quality US spec components from CTS in them, which is really nice. Decent pickups too. So I think that's pretty cool, and I also really want one of those cups. My last cup that I liked was a Father's Day cup. It got ruined. That sucked. So I wouldn't mind one of these cups, but unfortunately you can only get it directly from the flagship store. Prices on these guys, 1,500, 1,059, 159,000 yen. I can talk, I promise. So that's just about 1075, and then call it 200 with shipping. If you go to Digimart here, you don't have to get these from just Fender Japan. There's a bunch of stores got these. I prefer when the blue on these is a little bit darker. Like, as you can see, like, look how bright some of these ones are. Like, this is a really good example of it. We'll see what this one's all about. Yeah, do you see how bright this is? It's pretty. If you like it, you like it. But I prefer this. I like when it's a bit more kind of worn and turquoised. Isn't that funny? I mean, this is an old guitar. This guitar's 30 years old. This started off as a blue guitar, and what do you know? You could tell that it was a blue guitar. Actually, this guitar's 30 years old. Even after 30 years, you can still tell it's a blue guitar. I wish I could say the same thing about blue PRS guitars. Because mine's already lost its color. But that's a whole nother can of worms. I don't know if I want to go down that one today. I don't want to get in trouble. So, I just thought that was interesting. I thought it was cool because at least Fender Japan have been the only ones to reissue the proper blue floral and red paisley guitars. When Fender Mexico did it in 2010s, they released a black paisley, and that was it. Just black paisley. And then Brad Paisley, which not paisley at all. Those were silver, I believe, with a paisley pickguard on them and a road-worn neck. Outside of that, Custom Shop has done both runs of these guitars and continue to do so, but you're talking about a very different price point there. So, yeah, I'm happy somebody that makes Fender guitars is keeping these things alive at some point, because I like them. I know they're very divisive. So let me see what you guys think about these. Hi, Bob. Hopefully it's a white TV. It's a TV white special. There is a white TV. There is a TV white Gibson Custom Shop Les Paul special on Reverb right now. We'll go check out Reverb momentarily again. It's a really good price, but from an individual seller. I don't love buying Gibsons from private sellers. I'd rather buy it from an actual shop. That's just me. Flower or paisley, both nice. Don't know which I would pick. I would go with a flower on the Strat, red paisley on the Telecaster. You're into the U-shape. Oh, I'm into the U-shape too, because the thing about it is the thickness of that, it's a 69U. I believe it's about 0.8, 0.85 or 0.87 at the first fret. So it's a little bit bigger than some other guitars, but it doesn't taper all that much. It only goes about 0.91, 0.92. So it doesn't get as big as something like, say, a 65 reissue neck, where those will be closer to a full inch. But because of the shape of the neck, they feel bigger in your hands. So I prefer that. I would much rather that than a modern C. I don't like modern C necks. They're just so thin. They have no shoulder on them, and it's kind of not an ideal playing experience for me. I'd rather a guitar be a little bit beefier, more comfortable to play to. You'd like the Strat, but I do want a pink paisley Strat sometime. I had one. I liked it a lot. Say Levy. You had a 60s Custom Shop Tele with a humbucker in the neck that was heavy relic Lake Placid blue over blue flower, killer guitar, but sadly traded away. Humbuckers in the neck, man. That's a balancing act. You're sacrificing either the humbuckers or you're sacrificing the quality of the single coil with those on tellies. Unless you run a really unique wiring kind of harness where you have individual volume controls instead of a tone control, but then you don't have tone control. And three knobs on a Telecaster control plate. No, that looks wrong. We're not doing that. Yeah, the yellow a bit. I like turquoise effect and how some reds get orangey. Yeah, no, like that kind of aging is cool with me. That kind of aging is cool with me. People think I get all up in arms about the PRS stuff. You know? Because I'm like, all right, we'll do it. Why I get upset that Paul Reed guitars specifically fade from blue compared to other brands that also offer blue finishes and do not suffer the same kind of extremes. The first thing is what I just showed you. That Japanese Fender was 30 years old, but when you look at it, you can tell it's still blue. That it started off as blue. It's still a beautiful finish on it. Now, granted, I'm not stupid. I understand the method of paint, and the actual paint itself was different. On the Japanese one, you're talking about a solid color finish that was sprayed, and then you had the wallpaper acrylic put on top of it, right? And even the case when you would look at some, if you ever look for old vintage Fender guitars, colors like Lake Placid Blue is a really good example. They will turn to a similar color too, and that's just a solid color finish to either an ocean turquoise or a mix between that and, depending on how intense the light was, almost like a very slightly blue Sherwood green, right? With PRS, the problem I have with them is that it doesn't go to a different shade of blue. It might at the very beginning, like mine has now. Mine is already in the phases of, it started very vibrant blue. It lives in its case. I had it out. That's why I keep looking over there last night. I played it last night for the first time in a few weeks, just to see how I felt about the guitar, regardless of the color. But it lost the majority of its vibrant color just from the lights that are on right now when I would play it, and then going back into the case. So if I had left the thing out in the stand for this 6 months that I've had it, probably awful. Probably awful. Probably would have been substantially worse with how much blue is lost. But I will show you an extreme here. What were you? I think I was using Safari. Because some of these PRS guitars, man, we're talking like, this doesn't make sense. Go high to low. Because if I go high to low and I go used, we'll be able to see some stuff that's like, what? Okay, here's a really good one. Let's load back up the browser. You ready for this? Now, before I show you this guitar, this started off blue. This was a blue guitar. I don't care who you are. Yeah, actually, you can see it. You can see it at the bottom of the bout right there. You can see some of the blue barely alive, and you can also see some of the blue starting to pop out from underneath the hardware, the wraparound bridge. And then the closer you get to underneath the pickups, you can start to see it there. Okay? But when you look at the guitar as a whole, I'm trying really hard not to drop an F-bomb. That's a private stock. That is a private stock, dude. We're not talking about a budget guitar. And that's how it looks from being played and being left out. Guitar doesn't have any abuse on it. There's no nick. There's no like paint missing. This thing was not abused. You can tell by looking at it. The guy who owned it took good care of it. Doesn't matter. It's really sad. But And yeah, and then you get these guys too. Like this was a royal blue guitar. Now this one I'm a little bit more forgiving of because this is a 1986, but royal blue is a very 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 intense dark blue. Actually, it's not even so much dark blue. The whale blue would be more like that. It's a more of a little bit more of a vibrant blue, but that's how that one looks. And this is faded blue jean. This is the same guitar I have. And honestly, I can see some of the color that's in this guy, like the changes on it. I can see my guitar starting to already exhibit signs that this would be eventually what it would look like. And if I left it out on the stand, it would get there pretty quick. So this is why I have a problem with PRS, because this is a company that they pride themselves on innovation. They pride themselves on making the best possible products for people. And this is a problem that they've had for decades. This isn't new. They've gone through a lot of different finish formulations. They've even gone to nitro now, like full on nitro. And it doesn't matter though, because it's the actual dyes they use to stain these. They're organic and they're extremely not resistant to UV. So if you're going to spend, I think the cheapest core model now is $4,800. So after tax, if you're not getting a discount, call it $5,000. You leave your guitar on the stand. If it's got any blue in it, you're a ticking time bomb. And I don't know about you guys, but if I don't have the guitar out in the rack, I don't think about playing it. I don't think about playing it. And every other guitar I've had lives out on the rack because I don't worry about that, because other manufacturers can paint a guitar blue and it stays blue. Gibson, same thing. Pelham blue is a really good example of this. It will change over time. We'll see if we can find a vintage one. Yeah, okay, so this is a 1966. This is a perfect example, all right? This is a 1966. That's fine with me. This guitar's been used, man. But it's still got color to it. It's not natural. Again, I understand the difference between the different sorts of finishes, okay? One's a stain, one's a nitro, all right? But still, I can't do it. I don't know. So I'm talking to some people. I'm gonna get out of this guitar, the PRS, because I'm not a collector. I'm not. It may seem like it. I'm not. There are 6 guitars I play, and I have no need for a guitar that I have to baby to this extent, and that it's still gonna freaking fade anyways. And blue's my favorite color, so that's the end of the rant. That's why I don't like blue PRS guitars. I would never recommend somebody buy a blue PRS guitar unless you are just cool with leaving it in the case forever. You want to do that? Great. But why would you spend so much money on something that looks so beautiful and never be able to freaking see it? It defeats the purpose. I don't know. Let's see what you guys have to say. You bought a blue flower made in Japan in 2018. Yeah, I mean, what used to happen was they were on somewhat of a schedule. I think it was every 6 years. Because in 2002, actually no, because it was 4 years from 1998 until 2002, they did runs in those 2 years. And then they waited until 2008 to do the next run. They did another run in 2012. And then in 2016, they did one more. 2018, they did ones with, no, 2018, they did runs with the Jazzmaster and the Jaguar. And there haven't been any since. So these are the first ones since 2018, so 7 years. 7 years. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Hola, ¿qué tal, man? You sent me an old pic. I will check it out momentarily. Fading, PRS version of relicing. It's not acceptable. And I don't care about wear on my guitars. Like, if I ding them up, like, that Jazzmaster's beating to hell. It's got paint missing all over it. I still freaking love that thing, and it looks great. That thing's been abused. It has been abused. But from far away, you look at it, you're like, ah, still a gold Jazzmaster. Isn't that nice? All right. If you look at an old photo or magazine that was in the sun, all blue will fade out. Paint is different. Old Fender color changing was clear coat and UV reaction. And previous is staining. Clear coat shouldn't be fading. Yeah, exactly. That's why I was talking about the differences in how the finishes were applied. There's no reason for it. I'm sorry, and you can't claim to be a master of innovation, have this problem go on for decades, discontinue colors, because Northern Lights was a color that had to get completely axed. And that was a beautiful... Dude, you want to talk about a guitar that would fit me perfectly? That's the color of my freaking logo. It's purple and turquoise. It's amazing looking guitars. Faded to natural. And they did it quick. They had to discontinue the finish because so many people were like, what the hell? I just spent $12,000 on a guitar. And now it's natural. What are you doing? So they know it's a problem. The warranty explicitly goes against any fading of colors or discoloration. They know. So why not invest some of the big Indonesian profits into doing that? This is why I don't get much work. It's true though, and I don't feel like I'm being unfair. I really don't feel like I'm being unfair here. Oy vey. So they're using a dye essentially as a wood stain, and a figuring clear coat will protect it, but the clear isn't UV blocking. Yep, you got it. Kind of scandalous, but high-income buyers do not care because they keep making them like this. I think a lot of people do things where they don't mind leaving the guitars in the case forever, opening them up once in a while just to look at them. They strum a chord, and you got to think, like, I'm in the minority of a lot of players. How many people have like proper studio lighting like this so that they can film in high quality and have it on when they play? Like, more often than not. Not many people. So at night, if you were just a normal person playing guitar, you wouldn't have this big old light shining right onto your instrument. So it probably lasts a little longer too. You play it for a half hour, an hour, you put it back in the case, you smile, think, I love this thing. And the color stays as it is. It's just a different set of circumstances. And for my use case, apparently it doesn't matter that I put the thing in the case because lights are going to fade. They're going to go through the clear coat. It sucks. Yep. It's got to be on the rack for me. Tried to keep my Gretsch in the case and didn't play it for 4 days. Now it lives in the rack. Yeah, that's just how it is, man. That's just how it is. And when I had my Gibson custom shop, I had an R9. That lived in the rack. I did not baby that guitar. I treated that the same way as every other Fender, from the lowest priced one to the highest priced one, as far as like how I stored it. Didn't get special treatment because it didn't need it. Didn't need it. I don't know. You love a good Jim PRS rant. And you know, it's not that I don't like PRS, and it's not that I don't like some of their guitars. But fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, I'll rant about it. One would think that guitar manufacturers would have learned a lesson since the 59 Gibsons. One would think. The more I look at guitars, the more I look like a more natural wood color with a base sunburst or a natural light or medium stain. The guy from Milehouse Studios did a custom Revstar. You like the guitar a little more in a natural color, the finished one still looks great. I'll tell you what, man. The guitar, there's only one guitar I have that's natural that I've always liked the look of. And that's the 77 that was handmade by Mamos. And what do you know? It was right in the rack. Not funny. Yeah. Like this guy. Karina. Walnut top. You didn't need a color on this. Like this is This is amazing. Typically not my style, but yeah. And dare I say, I still think that this might be the best overall guitar I've ever owned. It's remarkable. Somebody was commenting, "You sell everything. You sell everything." And I was laughing. I was like, "Well, I buy and sell guitars." But the two behind me, the Gibson and the Jazzmaster, never. This one, never. My Strat, never. My Telecaster, never. I'm on the fence with the super thin line about saying never with that one. If I really needed the money, maybe. But, I mean, those are what, 5 guitars? Never. Never going to sell those. And yeah, that's it. Let me play catch up. You have several high-end guitars, and I'll be honest, I hardly use them. Luckily, I'm starting to see them as tools now. It's a trap you can fall into because you don't want to damage them. You don't want to ruin the value. And with the way the internet works now, especially if you go on forums and stuff like that, and like some channels, they'll be like, you got to protect your guitar, you got to protect your investment, and it logically it does make sense, but from a musical standpoint, I think that's so stupid. Unless you're doing this like 100% as a hobby, in which case, like, you got a great job. That's you're making good money, and this is all just fun for you. It's a different story, but if you're doing music and you rely on music for your income, it is really foolish, in my opinion, to purchase something that you don't feel comfortable just using for its intended purpose because you're worried about the value of it. That's extremely counterproductive. Because you should just not have any other thoughts in your head. When you want to play the guitar or you feel inspired to play the guitar, you should have an instrument or instruments in some cases that you will gladly pick up and just start playing. Because the more crap going on up here and the more distractions you have and things you're thinking about, the less effective you're going to be at the most important thing, which is being creative, because your mind's going to be all over the place. And you don't want that. So it just, for me, it doesn't make sense for somebody that relies on music to have a tool like that, which is another reason. I'm just listing off reasons why that PRS got to go. You got to say thank you to PRS for releasing their Herman Lee guitar. The memes have come from that are amazing. I don't see many memes. I don't go on Reddit. I don't go on Twitter. I barely go on Instagram. I posted, I think, 2 days in a row on Instagram, but no pictures, no memes. Just clips of me playing. The same ones I posted shorts to YouTube for because, I don't know, companies like that stuff. But I don't check it. I don't really talk to people on Instagram. I don't really do any of that anymore. It's just a waste of time. But it is astounding because there are some people that have huge followings on Instagram, and it's like I look at their post, like Lounging Guitars. He's a really cool dude. He's a guitar tech. He does offset stuff too. And I saw he had like 50 something thousand Instagram subscribers, and I'm like, hey, he posts some really cool stuff, and some of it is pretty cool, and others of it, it's just memes. It's like Kamala Harris's body, or like her head rather, like meshed in with something with a Jazzmaster, and like other stuff like that, or just like, oh, you need this many Jazzmasters, or da 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 da. It's a lot of silly stuff. It's harmless, but like I don't have the attention span for that. I barely have the attention span to turn this on so I can yap, and that's very easy for me. So short form content, and then on YouTube, like if you post a short, the other day was a perfect example of this. I posted the Yamaha video. Now I worked, I don't know, about 3 hours into that video, like start to finish, between setting up filming, importing, editing, color correction, audio level correction, and bouncing it. About 3 hours or so. I spent maybe 10 minutes making a short shortly after that. The short outperformed the full video by like a magnitude of 4 times as much, and it did it pretty much immediately. It the short term content, the short form content rather. People have no attention spans. They love it. They absolutely love it. And it's just it's how it is. You can feel however you want to feel about it. I don't like it, especially with music, because if I'm just posting guitar stuff, like I'm not doing skits. I'm not trying to be funny. I got 1 minute to play. You guys think of me as a virtuoso lead player like all these other freaking people that are technically so gifted on the instrument? Or am I somebody that does cover songs or blues licks or stuff like that? Like, those are the stuff that gets tons of views. I don't do that. I just play straight rhythm guitar 95% of the time. So people click that and they're like, oh, this guy's not even playing shred arpeggios. Or that's not a cool blues Gary Moore. Like, look at this guy. This guy sucks. And they click right off it. I just don't feel like it's the way for me. I'm gonna continue to do it because it's free views. It's and it takes no time to do it, but it's just interesting to me how popular short form content is. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. You're trying your best not to pull the trigger on the Epiphone. I wouldn't have to try very hard for that. The back of that 77 looks nice. I think the front, that would look awesome on that guitar, better than the walnut. No, I like the walnut. I like it. It really grew on me. Like, that guitar, the longer I've had it, we're coming up on 3 years at this point. I love that guitar, man. That guitar's perfect. And that's one of the only guitars that I have never felt the need or the desire to modify anything on it. Everything's perfect. I can't say that about almost anything. Stratocaster, the JV, that's been modified to hell and high water. The Telecaster, the JV, the main reason I modified that, put the Lollers in it, wasn't because I didn't like the stock pickups, that they died. They need to be rewound. That's been modified. The Super Thin Line Deluxe, that was modified. I put the Lollertrons in it because the Mexican Fidelitrons, the ones that come with the Mexican made Cabronitos, not a fan. Not a fan at all. And that got a new wiring harness. Modified. The Jaguar, modified. It's got a master vibrato and a mastery bridge. The Lollar pickups too. The Les Paul's unmodified. But the Les Paul, it's got a perfect, I love the bridge pickup. I don't like the neck pickup as much because, as I was saying, I'm like a Gary Moore blues player. So for me, I want a little bit more, a little bit lower wind, I think, on that. Something that's going to be a little bit more articulate and clean. But as of now, it's not modified. The CE24, I'm not going to modify that, but it could benefit from it for sure. For sure. Putting on an American-made vibrato system entirely instead of the import one would be nice. And I don't love the pickups in that guitar. They're fine. They're not bad, but I don't love them. And then the 77. Perfect. Perfect. That's why I only have super relic expensive guitars, because I actually play them out. I can ding a Masterbuilt or a Murphy Lab at the gig and not lose my shit on stage. Try that with the 10 top. Well, different gigs, sorts of gigs for different people, you know. I think the guy with the 10 top might be playing a different venue. But also, I don't know, some people just don't care. Like, I've seen PRSs with a lot of wear on them. A lot of wear on them. So some of them do get played. But yeah, I don't like, but I also don't like the Relic, because then all the work is done for me. Like, that's part of the reason I love the Jazzmaster so much, and why I think that those American vintage models from that time frame, 2013 to 2016, and then they did American originals, and they ruined everything with that line. They ruined everything. They had the flash coat nitrocellulose on the Jazzmaster, 65 Jazzmaster, so it aged perfectly. Perfectly. Everything I've done on that looks better than anything the Fender Custom Shop has made as far as faking wear. That looks far better because I did it myself, and it's natural because it happened naturally. Just the way to do it. It's a shame Fender don't paint all their guitars that way. It's a shame. I know a lot of players who complain about it. The same people who would go out and buy these relics. Who are you? Chula Vista. No, thank you. But for me, I'm fine with wear if I'm the one doing it. I don't want some guy in a workshop stabbing the guitar body with a screwdriver. It's lame. Thoughts on 8 strings? I mean, I'm sure people love them. I'm not a fan of anything that has more than 6 strings on it. Some 4-stringed instruments are pretty cool. I like the ukulele and I like the bass guitar. But an H, honestly, and it's not even that I dislike 8 strings. It's just not my genre. It's not my wheelhouse. Like the strengths of those guitars don't line up with me in the same way that I don't like a Gibson SG does not line up with me. So you don't try to fit a square peg into a round hole. YouTube pushes the heck out of shorts. I know. The Pacifica, though. Well, I don't own the Pacifica. I left the Pacifica out of that thing when I was talking about modified guitars because that's not my guitar. I'm borrowing it. So why would I even comment on it? I don't think I would modify anything on it, though. If Yamaha were cool enough to let me keep it. I mean, they're not going to let me keep that exact one, but if Yamaha were nice enough to send me one of those guitars, I don't think I'd modify anything on it. The Japanese one, at least, because the hardware is fantastic. That's Japanese Goto stuff. That's what I would upgrade to anyway. And those pickups, I'm not exaggerating. That's the best stock sounding set of pickups I've heard in a very, very, very long time. And in every position, they just sound so good. So what does that leave to modify? Nothing. That guitar out of the box, fantastic. Fantastic guitar. It's a shame. That'll be a fun, long, extended video to make. I saw the Herman Lee one. I remember Herman Lee kicked the neck and broke it off one of his PRS guitars on stage. I got a kick out of that. But it's kind of like a mix between an Ibanez, a PRS, and some other stuff. It's just not my thing. I'm not gonna say anything bad about it. It's just not my thing. Easy as that. There are some cool fingerstyle rhythm techniques you can do with the 7 and 8 strings, but that beyond me right now? Yes. There's a lot of cool things you could do in general. I'm doing something really cool with the Jaguar. The reason I haven't been playing the Jaguar in videos is because it's not tuned normal for a very deliberate reason. But for something I haven't seen many other people do, but I thought the Jaguar was a perfect candidate to try and emulate a specific traditional instrument. So that'll be fun. I'm working on that, but I've been so into this edit, which is it's 95% done. I could say with 100% confidence it'll get posted tomorrow about the guitar I built. I was up until 4 last night working on this. The night before, I was up until 3:30. And the night before that, I was up until 3. So, I never put this much effort into a single video. Never. Especially one with, there's almost no playing in it. It's just overviewing the process of picking out the parts, building the guitar, what went wrong, what you need to do, things you can't escape, what tools you need, how to do this. It was a real process building that guitar from scratch. So I had so much filming to do, and I ended up doing ADR. For those of you who don't know, it's basically just I did the voiceover stuff. So after I had imported the audio, I had to film, or the video rather, of me working on the guitars. I didn't record any audio while I was doing that because I just wanted to be able to focus on doing the work. So I did audio that I would put over it after the fact. So editing all of that, It's not going to look like a pro video. I don't want you guys to get your hopes up like, oh, it's going to look like all these other YouTubers where it's just like, oh, this isn't crazy production value. No, but it's the most work that I've put into something. With just the amount of cuts and edits and the voiceovers and the lining up of things. But that'll get posted tomorrow. And I have a lot to catch up on. So all my attention's just been there, and it's just been something I've wanted to get done, because I also want to start using this guitar because I got some amplifiers that I got demo for y'all. 2 of them are already in the room. And I got to rearrange the studio. Let me see here. Don't worry, soon it will be AI-controlled robots stabbing guitars to make new relics. Would I really mind that? I think it would be more amusing to watch. Used to play a 10-string Chapman stick. That's hilarious. Surf music. Yeah. Surf music on an 8-string guitar would be wild. Suppose you get pretty low with it, but too much. At that point, I'll just play a baritone. I did like the way the baritone sounded with a ton of reverb and tremolo on it when I had the baritone, the HB baritone. No free plugs for you. I don't like your brand. Would have already got the Epiphone, bought a pre-release V2, not very public pedal, and need to sell some guitars because you want the American vintage. People think I'm bad. People think I'm bad. I'm making money doing this. And I'm doing this stuff, on videos. And then I'm reselling it. This guy, Greg, is sick. He says that. He knows I love him. He's a funny guy. He goes through far more gear than I do. I do like the American Vintage 65. If it came in another color, I would be much more enticed, because the neck shape on the American Vintage 65 is my favorite out of all the ones that they offer right now. Because it starts relatively thin, but it gets big, like Gibson depth at the 12th fret, and I love that. But Sonic Blue, the way that Fender does Sonic Blue these days, it might as well be white. I don't want white. Candy Apple Red, no. And is there a 3-turn sunburst on that guitar? No, it's Fire Mist Gold, which I'm not a big fan of. There's only one gold that'll ever exist here for Fender, and it's Aztec Gold. That's it. And I'll never buy another Aztec Gold guitar. I got one. And that guitar is peerless on many, many, many levels. 8-string Surf, well, that's a Tsunami. That's well done. I like what you did there. But, I mean, man, just the amount of stuff, there's a lot of exciting stuff that's going to be happening here. So I just told you I have 2 amps I got a demo. I got a pedal I got a demo. And I will say it now. I'll tell you guys, I did work out a deal where I'm going to be promoting a Marshall amplifier. And I get to keep it. How cool is that? It means I'll have a Fender that I promoted that I got to keep, and a Marshall that I would have promoted that I got to keep. A little worried. I'm not going to spoil why I'm a little worried. But when you see what it is, you'll be like, oh, I know why he's worried. It's not about the sound quality. But it's an amp I've wanted to check out. So that'll be 3 amps. If I were to count all the pedals I would like to do demos on, I have one I have to do. But I added another drive pedal totally on my own. The Way Huge Geisha Smalls. You'll hear that tomorrow. I actually used that with the guitar I built. I thought it sounded really good with it, and I wanted to see how noisy the guitar was going to be with that much gain. Handle it like a champ. And then I have 2 Japanese pedals that I've had for a while at this point. I just haven't gotten to making dedicated videos for them. So, yeah. It's not that I don't have a lot to do. It's just I don't have a lot of time to do it. So I'm trying to do quality over quantity and make up for the quantity via YouTube Shorts. Perks of full-time playing musician is a business expense. Bad thing is the backup gear and doubles you have to buy for the originals in case something happens. Yeah, no, that's a bad thing. Storage is another bad thing too, dude. Honestly, that's a big pain in the ass. That's why I don't keep more stuff too. I don't like having too much clutter. And even right now, like I'm like anxious because I got multiple amps I'm looking at dead ahead of me. I got two boxes on top of them. These are all good problems to have, and I'm not keeping any of this stuff, so I know it's gonna go at some point. But just like having like this much in the room, just like no, like I like it a little bit cleaner because then when I'm done filming this, for example, the area where all those amps are, the camera can go and hang out over there, so that it opens up the rest of the room. The light that's lighting me up, that's on a gigantic tripod stand, that can go live over there. But as of now, no, they're just gonna sit in the middle of the room. Really, they'll probably sit back there. Oh, and then I got to do the Yamaha demo, the actual demo for the guitar itself, because all I did was the unboxing. I want to do a full-on video for that. I want to do some full instrumentation. I want to do some full instrumentation for that guitar. A little bit of a track. Won't be a full song. Nobody has the attention span for anything like that. Plus, I don't sing. So we'll do something, though. And yeah. And Dr. Z, that'll be the last time you see it sitting there for a while. He's going on vacation. He's going on vacation. And you won't see the Princeton here anymore either, but that's for a totally different reason. I'm keeping it, don't get me wrong. But there'll be a guitar stand there instead. Some changes to the studio. You'll see. What's up, Bradford? Hey, Jack. Jack sent me... oh, my God, and that's another thing. Jack, can I show them? Can I show them, Jack? If you give me the okay, I'll show everybody. Because you got a lot of people in here that play offset guitars. You got to let me know, though. And you got to let me know relatively quickly because I got to wrap up in a minute. But I'll happily share something. But yeah, it's another thing. And then I got to do the pickup demo for the guitar that I built that you'll see tomorrow. Because I barely played the guitar because 90% of the video was the build. And I had to do everything. I had to do all the drilling of the body and all that stuff. So it wasn't just like an easy parts caster. Everything's already pre-done. You just drop in the parts. You screw it all together and you're finished. A little bit more to it than that. Yes? Yes, yes? All right, hold on. I'll put it back in the box real quick so they can get an idea for how nice the presentation is. Where are you? There you are. All right, let's put you back in. Oh, that was the sound. Okay, I got it. Make sure the box. So inside of this, look at this. I'm doing an ad live on the spot. Nice little box. Offset Guitars UK. What is inside said box? Well, the tool I just jammed back into it. Hey, and a bridge. They got two versions of this. This is basically a stage drum killer. They use brass saddles. All right. The other thing that's really cool, I don't want to spoil the video too much or the part of the video too much, but it's different from the stage drum in a few ways. If you can see it, let me try. If you have a stage drum, you'll notice it. Right now, all my stage drums are installed. I want myself out of the shot so you can see it. Focus, camera. It's not going to do it. But there are a few really cool little things that are different about this that I really like. And we're going to be trying this. This is the modern radius, so 9.5. But they just released, as of yesterday, a one for vintage radius as well. The string spacing is also correct, which is not something you'll get from Fender Japan. Fender Japan is going to do 56, I believe, millimeters. This one's the correct narrow string spacing, which is really important because that's going to kill the playability of the guitar. And Yeah, the brass saddles. Like I've always been a big fan of brass saddles. I mean, they make guitars just come to life. I love them, and you'll be hearing a back to back of the difference between a guitar that has the regular Mustang saddles and then this, and it's very noticeable. It's a good piece of kit, man. It's a really good piece of kit. So we got to film the rest of the parts of this video as well. And whether we do that on the Jaguar or a different offset guitar, that remains to be seen. I'll probably end up doing it on the Jaguar, though, if I'm honest. Makes the most sense because more people own Jaguars. Nobody owns the guitar that you'll see tomorrow. I'm the only one that does. So it's awesome. It's absolutely awesome. Jack, leave a link to your website. And the price is good, too. The bridge is much less expensive than a Mastery. And it's going to be just as functional, just as reliable. And it's a bit more fine-tunable than a stage trim, even. Plus, you get these guys. If you're somebody who wants to use these so the vibrato doesn't rock, it comes with a set of these as well. And then one other additional tool, the Allen key that you would need. So you get this little adjustment tool and the Allen key, and you get these that are going to let you prevent the bridge from rocking if you're somebody who wants to do that, which I can understand it in some applications. Most importantly, the hay. You guys think I'm joking. We had a pet rabbit that lived almost 13 years. That's unheard of. And we were used to having hay all over the house, everywhere. And whenever I see hay, I think of that old bunny. She's not with us anymore. It just brought a smile to my face. Means nothing to buying and selling and product pitching and all that, but I thought that was pretty cool. The bridge would be perfect match for a parts war. I'd like to see that. The actual brand is Offset Guitars UK. You want to know another big difference between them and the stage trim? Go look up stage trim's wait time right now. And this isn't me hating on stage trim. I got stage trims on 2 guitars. I'll tell you the one thing I don't like about the stage trim. If there's one thing I got to nitpick on, I was actually telling Jack this the other day. This is the God's honest truth. That Jazzmaster with the stage trim bridge, completely dead sounding. Completely dead sounding unplugged. It is the most dull guitar I own. With the Mastery, this is before Jack sent me this bridge. With the Mastery, comes right to life. Comes right to life. Put on the stage trim, all the life is gone. Dead. With his bridge, it comes right back to life again. Go figure. I don't have that same experience with every guitar I use a stage trim on. But on that Jazzmaster, the stage trim's got to go. It's just so freaking dead sounding. It's so dead sounding with the stage trim. It sucks because functionally it's fantastic. But yeah, I absolutely noticed the difference on that. So let me just check something real quick. I know they sell on eBay. Jack's company does. But stage trim. You're going to laugh. Due to high demand, which is understandable again, especially for the arm and collet. If you want to make that, Jack, that's what I'd be looking next. That's where I'd be looking next, an arm and a collet upgrade for a Japanese-made one. There's currently a waiting time of approximately 42 weeks from order until dispatch. You want to wait a year for a bridge? A guitar bridge? A year? We're not talking about a custom-made guitar. Oh, no. I was able to custom order a guitar body and have the paint done and everything. That was here before 10 weeks. You want me to wait 42 weeks for a bridge? And if you don't want to wait for it and you need it right now, you're going to pay at least double, and in a lot of cases, triple for a used one. Yeah, what is this nonsense? The arm and the collet used on Reverb is $141 with $31 shipping. It's the only one that you can order. So your choices are to spend that and you're importing it from the UK, or you wait 42 weeks. That's a long wait, man. That's a long wait. And Mastery, they don't have that problem either. Yeah, 9.5-inch radius. They're the only 9.5-inch radius one on Reverb right now. $325 with $20 shipping, and that's before tax. I like the brand, but let me tell you something. That's too much money. That's too much money. But that's what happens when you don't have supply to keep up with demand. Same thing happens with guitars. Same thing happens with guitars. So the fact that we do have legitimate options that you could get right now. Offset guitars, UK. Correct spring spacing. Thing feels like a freaking tank. Sounds way more alive with the brass saddles. I'm a big fan. And you'll see. Then you'll be able to hear. We'll do camera audio. I don't care. I got nothing to hide. You can listen to both of them. Hell, you know what? We can listen to 5 of them. We could listen to the Stage Trem, this one, the Mastery, the Vintage Style Bridge, and the Fender Japan Mustang Bridge. We can listen to all 5. Just quick, strum maybe 3 or 4 notes, 3 or 4 chords. Let one ring out. You'll be able to hear a difference between all of them right there. That'll tell you everything you need to know about the sustain and the initial, the attack, the brightness, or how dull it sounds. I guarantee you notice how dull the Jazzmaster sounds with the Stage Trem on it. Which sucks. Because again, functionally, and the way it looks, I like the way that the Stage Trem looks and this bridge look more than I like the way the Mastery looks. Just because the Mastery on a vintage style instrument, it just looks a little out of place to me still, even all these years later. It just looks a little out of place. All right, you need one in a 725? There you go. And there you go. So check it out. You'll be there. Stainless steel parts on the Bolt and the Mastery. Wonder why the Stage Trem is so dull sounding. Made from I don't know, man. Because it didn't make sense to me either. But I always thought it sounded so dull once I switched to the Stage Trem. And this was before I got this. I tested with the Mastery back to back, and I was like, oh yeah. I was like, all of a sudden the guitar immediately came back to life. Put the Stage Trem back on because I want that guitar to look like an old guitar, And yeah, all the life left because I wanted the look of it. When in reality, the Stage Trem that doesn't give me the sound that I like from that guitar compared to the Mastery. But now I don't have to worry about it because they make one of these in a 725, so I'll get one of those at some point. And plus, the guitar is gold, so brass gold won't look as out of place. All right, your Vintera Mustang really needs one. Message Jack. He'll take care of you. All right? All right, guys. That was my unpaid promotional segment for the day. I don't mind. Jack's a nice guy. We've been going back and forth. He just bought a new Fender Jaguar. And he imported it from Japan. I believe that's his first time doing it. I'm like a proud father. I don't know the guy. But anytime anybody takes the leap and actually orders directly from Japan for the first time, they don't know what to expect. And I'm like, oh, you have no idea. You're going to go down a rabbit hole. Unfortunately, it's a lot more expensive than it was even a year ago. But it is what it is. And if you want a Fender Jaguar, only one place to get a real one. It ain't America. It's Japan. New at least. I don't know if I can link his site. Hold on. I'll try. Because YouTube's even strict with me. Like, I think I just have, like, a universal no links allowed. Offset Guitars UK. No. They have a Reverb page. And that's it. They have a Reverb page and an Instagram. Oh, this is what I'm going to link, because then you can all bother Jack directly, and he'll talk to you. There you go. So click on that and shoot him a message. He'll respond to you. He'll talk to you. He's a nice guy. But yeah, I'm going to get going because we got practice again today. Not for the band, for the child in her sport of football with your feet, not with an egg. And yeah, and then art class after that. And then probably, even though I said I'm 95% of the way done, I still got to put in music, and I still got a little bit more editing to do. I'm gonna try and polish this to make it as nice as I possibly can for tomorrow's video. But I am so excited about it. And I don't know what I'm gonna do in a thumbnail because I got to get people to click the video. But if I have the guitar in the thumbnail, it kind of ruins the suspense now, doesn't it? I guarantee people will click it if they see the guitar in the thumbnail. But then the first like 7 minutes of the video, you're going to be like, what the hell? I already know what I'm getting here. Just get to the guitar. So I got to think about that one. That'll take me some time too. But that's it for today. Cheers to everybody, and cheers, Dale. I know you're in here. Always appreciate you, brother. Jack, thanks for stopping in. Greg, Bradford, Deb, Markleford, David, Nella. I forgot some guys. Martian. And Wikipedia. His name starts with WKI. I just call him Wikipedia. Thank you all. I'll see you on the next one. Take care.